What up, guys? James from Bolt Bros here for Victory Monday with the Chargers victory 17-13 over the Falcons. Ugly game in a lot of ways, but sometimes you got to win these ugly games. And you know what? In the past, we probably wouldn't have won this game in a lot of ways. But guess what? We found a way to win it. Harbaugh is real in a lot of different ways of making this team a better team all around. So let's just go ahead and get into it. And also, the end of the video, I'll give you a little bit of a preview about this Chiefs matchup on Sunday Night Football on Sunday. So once again, guys, James from Bolt Bros. Let's go. Bolt Bros. Once again, guys, appreciate all the love and support. Please like this video, subscribe to this channel if you have not. We love to also hear comments below about this video and about the game this weekend. So, ugly game for a lot of ways in this one, man. Offense really wasn't clicking. Defense was the only thing that really was clicking. Special teams did fine too. But one thing that I love to see about this team is that it's complementary based football. So what I mean by that is that, you know what, each phase needs to be working. If one phase fails, the other one needs to lift them up, right? And essentially, that's exactly what happened in this game. The offense wasn't clicking. You don't got J.K. Dobbins, so we kind of have a little bit of a struggle with the run game. Offensive line is doing well, but giving up some sacks. I could say that for a lot of different reasons of possibly why that's happened. But the defense basically carried this team to make sure it happened. I mean, you look at some of the stats on this, guys, it's incredible. I mean, Chargers only had 187 total yards as a team in comparison to the Falcons of 350. They had 24 first downs to Chargers only having 10. They had almost 11 minutes, actually almost about 11 minutes more of time of possession, 36 minutes, give or take, to 24. I mean, it's incredible to see what happened here, guys. Like, if you really look at the stat sheet, you say, hey, we should have probably lost this game. Offensively, we were not running on all cylinders by any means. We're very, very stagnant, limited, players to basically make plays for us. It was a really, really weird game. But guess what? We gutted this one out. In the past, teams probably wouldn't have won this one at all, guys. I mean, bottom line, we found a way. One phase carried the team and made it happen. And that, you got to love seeing that, guys. Sometimes you can't always count on the offense scoring enough points, and he actually working well this week. The defense found a great way to basically capitalize on mistakes and to be able to carry this team. So wild to see. Now, one of those players here, crazy to see this, guys. So after the game, Tarheeb Still goes, obviously, to the locker room. They go out there and celebrate. Guess what he's got on there? Is a straight up note from the NFL. Hey, you need to take an immediate drug test. Well, I mean, that's just crazy to me. So obviously he had 2 picks, one of those being a pick 6. He had a pass block late in the game against Drake London, which was massive to slow down that drive. He did also have, I believe it was like a 94 flat PFF graded game against the Falcons. He played great, but it's funny to me where, you start seeing that the NFL's out here thinking, wow, this 5th round pick guy, whoo, he might be PED'd up or something. Something might be going on there too. I don't know. Real wild to see that, guys, but really crazy to be able to see the NFL go after it. Now, once again, maybe it was the Chiefs making a call. They try to say, hey, that guy looks too good. We don't need him playing us this weekend. I mean, my hopes is nothing really comes from this at all, but kind of ridiculous to see the NFL do something like this. I mean, when you could give credit where credit's due, the guy balled out, man. Tarheeb looked like an absolute stud out there. Once again, we have talked about it. The whole Cam Hart, Tarheeb Still pickup in the 5th round this year has been phenomenal. This draft class 2024 is one of our best draft classes we've had probably since 2004. At least that's where I could think of. Going back to that whole draft then, that was a phenomenal draft for us. And this draft class so far, we're getting guys in the back end of the draft that are producing. I think it was Derwin James that chatted a little bit about players, and this is after the game, that these young players need to step up when your name is being called. They need to be guys that could go out there and support this team and find ways to make plays and be playmakers. One guy goes down, the other guy needs to come up. Next man up, correct? Like, that's bottom line, the mentality here. And you're getting guys that are actually just showing out right now. And Tarheeb Still has actually solidified, in my mind, he's got to be one of the starting corners from this point on. Even at some point, I feel like Cam Hart plays even better out there too. Christian Fulton's been kind of a little bit of an issue here and there, but at the same side, somebody's got to get picked on, right? But gosh, Tarheeb Still absolutely balled out this weekend, and it was amazing to see. These young guys are stepping up, man. And I mean, shout out to once again, Chef Ortiz out there making moves happen and drafting solid players. Big knock on our last regime. Tommy T always did not get quality players in the back end of the draft. It always took a little while to try to find those guys, or they just did not work out. He was very good in the first round. Sometime the second round, he only had three after first round players that went to the Pro Bowl with his entire time with the Chargers. He is not good after the first round of basically drafting. Now we got a GM here that's really looking at every single player and doing a very good job of picking players late in the draft that are contributing very quickly. Tarheeb Still right now, man, let's see that trajectory. What if he keeps going up where he potentially could go into that whole defensive player of the year, a rookie of the year defensive side of things too? Maybe there's a chance that he could get into that level if that's even a possibility. I don't know, but very early on, it's only 5 games left, but at the same side, let's say he just keeps making these plays. You never know, guys. You never know, man. Better late than never, right? And Tarheeb Still has been an absolute stud for us. So once again, shout out to Tarheeb. Great game all around. Derwin James shutting the game out as a captain should with a pick. Phenomenal to see. And he played phenomenal also, too. I think they even gave him a PFF of 90.7. So played extremely well. So great game all around for the defense. The defense carried this entire team, this entire game. Now, the issue is, this is at the half. Dude, of the 11 completions Justin Herbert had in the first half, 8 of them went to Ladd McConkey for 105 yards. Total pass yards, Justin Herbert had 115. There has been 10 yards to other wide receivers and 3 completions to other wide receivers. That is not good, and that cannot be a common thing. I mean, as the entire game went, Justin Herbert only had 131 yards passing, so it didn't get any better from this point. I mean, this has to change, and something needs to change with this offense. You cannot have a stagnant offense like that and continue to win games. I mean, unless this defense keeps getting 4 picks and finds ways to get pick sixes, that's the only way it's going to happen. But next best receiver was Quentin Johnston at 2 catches for 12 yards. And then Ladd McConkey ended at 9 catches, 117 yards. So I don't know. That's a very, very big concern, and it's been a big concern in a lot of different ways. Like, even to say our run game, we actually had some things going on. Like, Gus Edwards did have 6 carries, 32 yards, 5.3 average. Come on, he had 4 carries for 20, 5-yard average. I feel like we decided to just say, hey, let's just forget about running the ball and let's just kind of throw the ball more often. Now, I get it. Justin Herbert's a very, very good thrower, is a very good quarterback, but we kind of went a little bit away from our game plan. Now, also, you could say we didn't have the ball for that long, too. We actually had about 11-minute gap difference between time of possession from the Falcons to the Chargers. We also did have 1 fumble within the game. We had a fumble with a recovery with the Ladd McConkey catch that he looked like he wanted to take it to the house. I mean, there's a couple variations to this, too, but guys, we got to make sure we have a nice rounded type of offensive play, especially a lot more wide receivers really getting more involved. This whole thing about DJ Chark, where the heck is he? I saw him on one play, bunch formation, four men on top of the route there. I saw him once, and that was it. Got to get another guy out there. We need some new blood out there to get things rolling and maybe potentially even bring more of that competitors welcome type of mentality to this team. DJ Chark needs to get involved somewhere or another here. This is now or never, buddy. We need to get you out there, my man. So now with Jim Harbaugh in the post game, all smiles for our guy. But at the same side, one thing I really did appreciate from that press conference is that he came out of there kind of talking about like, hey, man, I got to do better as a head coach. And I appreciate the team basically making up for my mistakes. And that's the way that I kind of viewed it as, is that I feel like Jim Harbaugh, even when he came onto this team in his initial press conference, one thing I really loved, he said, he talked about, I need to be a better coach for you to be able to be successful. And it's also at the same side, like, I feel like the players are like, I need to be better for you so you could succeed too. So there's this nice camaraderie within the team, and there's this very good vibe between the entire team that everybody wants to just be better for each other. And that's great mentality to have with this team, a very championship type mentality with this team. And you got to love what Jim Harbaugh has done in 1 year. I mean, once again, you got to give him a shout out. Both Joe Ortiz and also Jim Harbaugh, to all the coaching. We're coming into a situation where we're under the salary cap. He had to make some tough moves, find a little bit of money to be able to get some guys on this team, get some 1-year contract guys out on this team, and make them produce. They've done a great job year one, being at 8-4 right now, very close to basically clinching a playoff spot and making the best out of it. I love to see that, where it's not like a coach just comes into it and says, hey, first year I could just kind of let it just settle and just, I don't need to get a winning record this year. No, win now. It's a win now mentality. And I love seeing that. And also to play better for everybody in that room. Bottom line, everybody wants to win. Winning matters, guys. And winning is going to get this team to the next level. Next year is going to be a different story, guys, because we've got a lot of money to spend too. So once again, shout out to Jim Harbaugh. Once again, he came out there, we pulled it down, found a way to get that dub. And, defense once again did its job. And that's one thing he emphasized too within the post-game interview. Now, Justin Herbert didn't have the longest of press conference, but he kind of looks like he's staring at Daniel Popper here, like, don't ask those questions. Don't ask those weird questions about any injuries or anything like that or whatever. But the one thing that I got from it, it's a very short interview all around. He's like, man, we just got to do better offensively. We just got to get better offensively. We know we need to do better. But at the same side, the defense did what it needed to do. A complementary based football. One side of the ball is not working out well. The other side needs to pick it up and try to find a basically way to put this team in a winning position. And that's exactly what happened here, guys. And, we all know Justin Herbert and what he can do. He's an absolute stud as a quarterback. He is definitely one of the best out there in the NFL. But bottom line, we got to get this offense rolling. It sucks not having J.K. Dobbins because he was such a balancer to that run game. But I do think that we really need to pace this ball out a little bit more and do better on the run game. I felt like Kamani Vidal was doing fine. I felt like the O-line was doing fine. I just felt like, once again, I emphasize this a little bit on the live show, I feel like maybe these routes are a little bit longer for these wide receivers, or maybe people aren't finding ways to break open, or they're not very good in the sharp route running to basically get these wide receivers open. The O-line is giving over 4 seconds to Justin Herbert, and he talked a little bit about that he needs to get the ball out of his hands a little bit faster. So we'll keep an eye on that, and I think you really got to do that against the Chiefs too. We'll see where it goes and see what kind of adjustments they make from this point on. But once again, complementary team-based football, right? One side of the ball doesn't work out well. The other side needs to pick it up and find a way to basically get that W for him. And that's exactly what happened in this game. Now, moving on, thinking about the playoffs. Chargers are sitting at the 5 seed. Now, once again, it's kind of a little bit of a tiebreaker situation here with the Ravens and the Chargers. So it's kind of like we're in the 6th, but we're sitting in the 5th based upon we've had a bye week already. The Ravens essentially do have that tiebreaker with us. This is the position we need to be in. We need to stay at 5. That is the goal. Now, once again, I'd love to be able to take the division. I think that's a little bit of a pipe dream, in my opinion. If it does happen and we beat the Chiefs this weekend, the Chiefs need to find another way to basically lose another game to be able to kind of see if we could kind of weasel our way into the division. But at this point, we got to stay at the 5th seed. That's my goal where we're at. We're at 94% chance to get into the playoffs. Now, you obviously got the Chargers, Ravens, Broncos sitting in the wild card. And then behind that is the Colts, which essentially are 2.5 games in front of them. So we have plenty of room to run at this point, and we have a great chance to basically make it happen. Just got to keep winning, guys. That's all it really takes at this point. So we need to keep winning, and the big game against the Chiefs is this weekend. So let's just try to keep on that 5th seed. 5th seed would be the best against the Texans, in my opinion. It would absolutely be best. A dome. It would be a team that I think is a little bit shaky, in my opinion. And it would be a great starter for the playoffs for the Chargers and a great way to start out the playoffs. So now thinking ahead. Now, obviously, we got the Chiefs ahead now, right? We know who the Chiefs are, and they have just been the absolute most luckiest team of all teams out there. They're coming off of a Black Friday game, first Black Friday game. They got kind of a little bit of a longer weekend. They have a little time to rest up for us. We basically are going to have the Sunday night game against them. So it's going to be a rock and amazing time to be able to check that one out. Now the Chiefs, once again, I think it's 8 of their wins or whatever it is have been by 1 score. And it's been by just weird, crazy things, back to the Ravens game with a touchdown that was just about that much away from basically being a touchdown to win it for the Ravens, to the Raiders fumble last week, which was super weird, to the Broncos block kick to win the game. Like, it's crazy to see. Like, once again, I don't think the Chiefs are who they were in the past. I don't think they're this truly dominant team, but they're just finding ways to eke things out. The refs are their absolute friends for sure, and they are making a lot of calls that are benefiting the Chiefs. It is bonkers to watch, guys, but it is a very beatable team, in my opinion. So, once again, their offense hasn't been as strong. Their defense hasn't been as strong. I think there's a little bit of a chance that we could go after them and possibly get a win out in KC, which would be massive. It's been a long time for us, guys. I can think first game that I think about is when Anthony Lynn went for the 2-point conversion to basically Mike Williams getting the 2-point conversion to beat the Chiefs. And I swear that was probably like 2018, 2019 or something like that. It was a long dang time ago. But either which way, if we go out there and beat the Chiefs, that legitimizes this team even further. It gives us potentially one step to find a way to steal the division. I think it's still a pipe dream, in my opinion. But looking further on that, too, Buccaneers at home, Broncos. That game was changed to Thursday night, so short week. Patriots away and Raiders away. So essentially what we have to do here is, and the goal has been for this pretty much at this point to lock a playoff spot, is win 2 more. And why is that? You know, you think about 2.5 games up on the Colts. You got the Broncos, you got the Ravens. You know, those are kind of going to be fluctuating possibly back and forth. That Broncos game, Thursday night game, is massive for the Broncos and for the Chargers and seeding for us. The Buccaneers, that's a team that is kind of an up and down team. They struggled against Carolina, barely won in OT. You know, Patriots are who they are, and the Raiders are who they definitely are. FTR all day, all day. So once again, there's a chance that I think we could win possibly 3. I think possibly top 4. I mean, gosh, if we won 5 in a row, I mean, we would be looking great at that point. But I really think there's a good chance that we could possibly win 4. 3 sounds very, very manageable in my opinion. But if we find a way to beat the Chiefs this weekend, that's going to be major for this team. So one thing I just want to say is keep the faith, boys. We are in a great position as Chargers fans here, and we're great to be able to see where this team is going. Complimentary football is showing. Coaching matters right now, guys. Harbaugh is doing a phenomenal job with this team in making sure this team wins. This is, once again, going back to this Falcon game, this is an extremely losable game in the past regime. So we found a way to get it done, guys. So once again, guys, want to hear from you. Throw in some comments below about this game and possibly the Chiefs game ahead. I'd love to be able to hear your thoughts. So once again, like this video, subscribe to this channel if you've not. Appreciate it, guys. Once again, James from Bolt Bros. Let's go.
Hey, what's up? Cameron Dick here watching Bolt Bros podcast.